Week number 7 of the bulk. We're gonna start off today's video with a little bit of a downer. I got injured last week. Injured to the point where the Georgia boy had to take time off the gym, which for me is very, very rare. Like the only time, and this is a really bad trait of mine, by the way, is if I have to take time off the gym, things are pretty serious because I'll battle for anything. And that's my biggest problem within myself, is that I need to pull back rather than physically forcing myself to have to take time off because I pushed the boundaries too much. Anyway, long story short, I injured my back whilst I was doing RDLs. And I've got like this emotional attachment to deadlifting. I've had it for years. I'm like, I need to deadlift. And if I don't deadlift, I'm not gonna get a big back or I'm not gonna improve. And I want to get strong at the exercise. It kind of, I don't know why, it's just, I'm hoping people can relate to what I'm saying right now. But when it comes to like a deadlift, it's like, I need to deadlift because I want to lift heavy weight. It's an ego thing. It's like an ego thing. It's like, if I can lift heavy weight, that makes me feel good. But reality is, exercise doesn't do much for myself in terms of like development because my back is still shit, even though I've RDL'd a decent amount of weight. And I get injured. I've been injured numerous amounts of times over the years because of RDLing or deadlifting, and my back's been compressed and I'm not able to bloody walk. It isn't worth the risk anymore. So I've told myself, I ain't bloody deadlifting anymore. We've got a little bit of complications, but this is the process, guys. This is the process. You know, you're gonna take highs, you're gonna take lows, we're gonna have good moments, we're gonna have bad moments. But what I'm here to do to show you guys is that, right, despite a shit moment that's happened for me over the last week, we're gonna work around it, we're gonna come up with a solution and plan to keep moving forward, because that's all I care about, is how can we move forward to continue making progress, because this is not gonna slow me down. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, all that sort of good jazz, and let's get into today's video. I really hope you enjoy it. Got Mango next to me, look how cute she is. Oh, look how cute you are, you cutie, with a fat old fucking booty, eh? So I'll put my RDL on the screen somewhere here, or here, or here, or here. Yeah. It looks okay. It doesn't look terrible. I've seen far more worse RDLs out there. I think the issue that I have here was that I was so fixated on pushing my hips back when doing the movement. And basically, as I push my hips back, what you'll notice is as I come down, this machine kind of goes like this. So the handles actually come further away from me. And obviously the further away the handles are from my body or my midline, the more I'm going to be rounding my upper back and the less upper back engagement I have, which basically means it's going to be pulling on my lower back. It felt fine throughout the set when I was doing it, but then all of a sudden I got to the final rep and I just took a breath in. So I tried to reset my breathing, and then all of a sudden I took like, I think I relaxed, and then all of a sudden something just pulled in my lower back, like quite, I can't really explain the pain that actually happened. And then all of a sudden I just had to drop it. And normally, and this is a really bad trait of mine, by the way, normally I just fight through these. So if I start feeling a bit of a niggle, again, do not recommend doing this at all. Normally when I pick up a niggle, I just kind of go, well, slightly niggle now, so I might as well complete the rep and try and get a PB before it's injured. Terrible mindset, I know. Generally had to drop it, and I could literally not move for about 5 minutes after. And this is the importance of just actually filming yourself as well, because you can actually get a lot from just filming yourself and seeing what it looks like. So RDLs are going to be out for good. So I don't think I'm going to train legs this week, which is a little bit frustrating because I really, really want to, because obviously I love training legs. I love the intensity. It's just when I wake up as a leg day, it's just kind of like, it's going to be a good day today. But yeah, that's that really. I'm a little bit upset, to be honest with you, but these things come and go. And I've overcome something like this before. Damn well I'm going to do it again, because I'm not going to let it stop me. So I am waiting for Auto Glass to come and fix my windshield, because we was driving down the fucking road and I heard a boing, and I was like, what the bloody hell was that? Pulled over. This is what happened, and stupid me, I've not had it sorted for the last like 6 months, so I'm only getting it sorted now because I do want to get rid of my car now, because I've had it for a while and it's time to freshen up the wagon, and I'm thinking about getting an SUV. So I want you to let me know any SUV recommendations in the comments. But yeah, not good, not good. 110 quid this is going to cost me to get sorted, fuck's sake, but I need to get it done, because if I sell the car, then they're going to fucking do me for that. So as I'm waiting for them, I'm going to go for a little walk. It's actually really nice to get out and it not being freezing cold, and I've got to put on 5 bloody layers. One thing that I'll say about walking and moving about whilst bulking, keep some movement in. A lot of people just get lazy, and I think for me, when I'm eating a high amount of food, I want to be able to make sure that I'm digesting it well. And I've always found that going for walks, whether it's like a 10-minute walk, literally all I'm going to do is just walk around this forest for 10 minutes, is a great way just to kind of reset my mind. It's a great way to digest my food, and it's also a great way to fucking wind me up, because if not, look at him, he's just constant. Look at him. Fucking. Something to consider in your off seasons, getting out and moving. It's going to be really good for your appetite and digestion as well, especially if you're consuming a high amount of food. And it can simply be like a 10-minute walk like I'm doing right now. Just moving about, just getting out, get some fresh air, just switches and breaks things up a little bit as well. It'll make a huge difference, guys. So keep moving, keep the appetite nice and high, keep digestion good. You'll be able to do this for longer. And what will that lead to? Building more muscle mass. So a really key one for me. Anyway, there's a trolley over there. Who dumps a trolley in a forest? Like, what's the point? So can people explain What's the point in doing this? What is it, a B&M? Yeah, it's a B&M trolley. Like, what? Like, why? Why is that there? Why have people got to dump that there? Like, what is the actual point? To be fair, after my bloody lower back, I actually might need to put myself in that and get Vicky to carry me around, for fuck's sake. But yeah, why? Why, Diesel? What's the point in that? Just making my pre-workout meal. If you watched the last video, you know exactly what I'm eating throughout the day, but one thing that I would recommend 100% is this raw honey. I can't remember if I mentioned it in the previous video, but you get it off Amazon. Just type in literally raw honey. I promise you this will probably be the first one that comes up. It tastes way better. It's raw honey compared to the supermarket shit, which they say is raw honey, but it isn't. And gram for gram, it's way cheaper to buy a big kilo jug of it like this than what it would be buying a small squirty one at the supermarket. So that's just my advice. And again, you know, 100 grams of this, not that I'm putting 100 grams on my food, I put around 30 grams on there. It's 304 calories for 100 grams, and it's barely feels like you're eating anything. So if you're struggling in your bulks as well, get yourself things like honey, almond butter. They don't add any volume to your food, and it's so easy to get it down you. So the typical question everyone wants to know, how long should I wait after eating my pre-workout to go and train? And it's always going to vary from person to person. I find myself in a bulk having to wait a little bit longer because my digestion is a little bit slower in the off season as I'm eating higher amounts of food, eating more throughout the day. Typically need to wait maybe 90 minutes up to maybe 2 hours. But when I'm dieting, I can literally eat, inhale it, and literally I'm ready to go to the fucking gym because my body's so deprived of food and energy that when I add food in or when I eat food, it just absorbs it very, very quickly. So best bit of advice that I've got for you guys is go when you are ready. That's all I would just say. Go when you're ready. You'll know when you're ready to go, okay? So whatever time it may be, you stick to that and be consistent with it. So I am just on the way to the gym, sipping on my pre-workout, which today is Pre-Pump Plus from Supplement Needs, which is a non-stim.
Camera ahead.
I've mixed that with my intra-workout, so I've got a little bit of carbs in here, a little bit of EAAs, and obviously my non-stim, which I'll have about 15 minutes before I train. Today's a weird one, guys, because I'm not actually not with Vicky. Like, Vicky's not in the passenger seat, which is the first time in probably, I don't know, well over 2 years that we've not gone to the gym together. You guys know we do absolutely everything together, from going to the gym, walking the dogs, eating our meals, shitting, pissing. We do literally everything together. So it feels so weird today and doesn't feel right. Oh shit. It doesn't feel right that I am not going to the gym with her. She's there at the gym, so I'll still see her. It just doesn't feel right. In for push today, which I'm very much looking forward to. We got a few movements that I'm going to run you through today in terms of programming, try and provide a little bit more insight about training in the off season and how it should look and how you actually really build muscle as well. If you're looking forward to that, then obviously continue to watch the damn vlog and continue supporting it by liking it and sharing all that sort of good shit. I say that, but nobody likes it, nobody shares it. Well, they do. I'm lying about that, to be honest. Just begging it. I've been listening on a topic of something different here. I've not been listening to as much UK drill lately, which may shock a few of you because you know I'm a big fucking fan of drill music. Love it. Gets me fucking gassed, as they would say. I've been listening to a bit of American rap. Like, my favourite rapper at the moment that I'm listening
average
to
speed zone
is Lil Baby. Now, a couple of years ago, I used to hate American rap, like literally hate it. I thought it was the cringiest thing ever. And half the time, I can't understand what they're actually saying. However, like, Lil Baby hitting differently for me lately. So, very much enjoying some of his stuff recently, which is good. So, freshening up the old playlist and the taste buds, or the music buds, I should say. So, hopefully, we'll find a little. Oh, where's this come from? Burn. Cause that's so. I've been so fine with this shit, so fine. Had to run a mile on the bitch. I don't know how you rapped, or I don't know how you rap. I don't know how you dance to American music. I do at the moment. California Breeze by Lil Baby. That's one of my favourite songs of his, which I'm enjoying listening to right now. Anyway, just arrived at the old gymnasium. I don't know why, but I seem to enjoy parking in the same spot. I'm very strange. I can't really figure out who I am sometimes. Like, I like parking in the same spot every single week, and if I don't get my parking space, I'm a little bit about it. We're in for push, like I've said about 100 times in today's video. So we're going to start off with a lateral raise. We're then going to move on to a pec fly. We're then going to go on to a incline prime pin loaded chest press, which is one of my favorites at the moment. I'm loving that machine. I then move on to a flat prime plate loaded press, then move on to the Life Fitness dip machine, then move on to a cuff lateral raise, and then I'll move on to a overhead tricep extension. I sort of at the moment am playing around with what exercise I do for triceps, so I often try and mix it up a little bit rather than doing the same old sort of one. So I might do it with an EZ bar, I might do it with a machine, I might do it with dumbbells, anything that I fancy that I'll simply do. So of course I've got numbers to beat, you know, that's week 7 now. I've progressed pretty substantially since obviously starting my cycle as well, which has obviously been great. It's just making sure that I don't progress too much and take the piss, because the reality is I think my back and being injured the way that I have been over the last week is a sign that you are pushing the boundaries, Georgie boy. And when you push the boundaries and when you take the piss, because that's what happens when you're on cycle, you feel like you can just add weight every single week to a machine, and reality of doing that is eventually it's going to bite you in the ass. So I need to be very conservative with my progressions. I said this actually before on my Instagram, and guess what happened? I got fucking injured. So yeah, hopefully, touch wood, we'll get no injuries today. I'm really focused on actually just like warming up, like going through mobility drills, because I've seen Vicky doing a lot of it, and it sort of inspired me to do it as well, because I feel like I just need to be looking after myself a little bit more in that sense. So of course, we're going to run you through the training session, run you through how we're doing things at the moment, do a little bit of a physique update, as I'll have like a bit of a chest, shoulders, arm pump, so I'll look a little bit better than what I do right now, and sort of break down sort of where we're looking in terms of improving in the off season.
Item block in this slot.
Right, one great way of adding some intensity into your training sessions is partial reps at the end of the set. So at the third set that I did there, I did some partial reps, which allowed me to accumulate a little bit more volume, a little bit more blood flow, and a bit of a pump. We'll run with that. So yeah, add it into your isolation. So lateral raises are a great way to add like partial reps, great burn afterwards. And if you aren't feeling fucked after doing that, you're not doing the job right.
Welcome guys to a little voiceover. Today was one of those sessions where things just really clicked. You know, those sessions where just everything just went well and you've just got no complaints and you're just like, why can't every session be like this, you know? Just things felt really good. Good pump, good progressions in the gym, and mentally I was very locked in as well to the progress. So we're starting off with this pre-core D-handle fly. Again, if you haven't got a machine like this, then you could easily set this up on a cable stack. It's the exact same setup. So as you guys know, chest is an area that I struggle over the years to connect with, whether that's through tightness, imbalances, overthinking it. Like there's huge elements of overthinking it as well. We all have those muscle groups, you know, where we sort of overcomplicate it more than what is needed. Well, chest is definitely one for me, because I think my chest looks a lot worse than actually what it is. But I always do a pec fly prior to a press, because it enables me to really like lock in to those compound movements and pre-fatigue my chest. Because when I go into my compound straight away, like I barely am able to feel my chest. And I want to feel my chest, you know, you want to feel muscle groups that are clearly a weakness for me anyway, like weaker muscle groups. I want to be able to feel them. I'm like, why don't I feel it? But since transitioning into doing a pec fly before a press, I'm able to use less weight on a press as well, which helps my joints, because we can press fucking decent amount of weight, but your joints are going to give way eventually at some point. And also I've got that mind muscle connection, because I've got some fatigue, got a bit of a pump in my chest with the isolation. I can cross transfer over this to an incline press. I'm using this prime press at the moment. It's really, really good. It's really, really smooth. And yeah, I'm just able to just lock in and really make progress. I nearly got this last rep. Go on, Georgie boy. You got this. Fuck. Nearly had it. Blood pressure through the roof there. Red as raw there. Red as raw? We'll run with that. Good vascularity coming through the forearms here. I looked at that, I thought, yeah, not too bad that. So you may notice on my hands, I'm actually wearing liquid chalk. Like, why am I wearing liquid chalk while pressing? It's all mental, guys. If you haven't ever before put liquid chalk on before doing like a press, do it. You're just locking way more. So with this, you know, I think one important cue that I want to tell you about here is that if you just look at my elbow path and you look how it is all aligned, so my elbows are slightly under my wrist. Now for me, that's such a natural way for most people to press. I find a lot of people either flare their elbows too wide or they have their elbows too far tucked in, which is going to be way more tricep. Like you'll see my arms in today's video, like I've got strong triceps, but I've got a weak chest. So what does that tell me? I'm a tricep presser. So when you notice that your triceps are more developed than your chest, you need to sort of refine what you are doing almost. So for me, I really want to make sure that I'm using my chest. So I'm going to go for a slightly wider angle to what I usually would do. Now, I'm using the flat prime press here, so I always try and recommend hitting the chest vertically and horizontally. So again, we've done that today, which is great. I actually stole this from John Jewett. John Jewett did a setup on why you should load a lot of the weight in pin number 3 and very little weight in pin number 1. And basically he said, like, you know, you're going to be using a lot less tricep and you're going to be using a lot more chest in that lengthened position. So he's absolutely spot on with that, because I feel my chest absolutely on the money with this. So if you have got this particular machine, try loading 75% of the weight on the top peg and then like 25% in the middle peg, and it works really, really well. So it's a very nice machine, converges in. Again, look at the elbow path. The elbow path is the main key.
Okay, so we are moving on to a dip. In my opinion, you've got to have a dip in your program. You've got to have a dip in your program. I think, in my opinion, it's one of the best exercises for your chest and your triceps, really. So I'm using the Life Fitness dip machine. Main reason behind using a dip machine rather than free weight dips is, like, I used to dip like 60 kilos between my legs. I think that's the best I've ever done, and all I got from it really is a little bit of growth, but my joints fucking killing me by the end of it. They were literally in bits, to the point where I just couldn't do anything without fucking being in pain. So the risk versus the reward of me doing that just wasn't there. So I just went to a dip machine, and I find I'm able to just lock in a little bit more, especially as scale weight's going up as well. Like dips, pull-ups, they become a lot harder as you get heavier, which is a form of progress, because if you're able to obviously progress your lifts with your scale weight going up, that is obviously progress. But at the same time, like, it gets too hard, if that makes sense. So I save all those exercises for when I'm in prep.
One thing I wanted to talk about in this segment of the video is just like off-season and bulking and how it is very repetitive. It is the same old shit. And one thing that you probably see on this channel is that, George, we've seen this 100 times, but the reason why I'm doing that is to show you guys that that's what you need to do if you want to make progress. I see so many people chopping and changing their training programs every couple of weeks. I'm like, how do you know if you are making progress if you are changing things constantly all the time? So a little bit of advice for anyone that is in that situation: please stick with something that you enjoy, that you see good progress from, and it's sustainable for you, you know, because a lot of people try and, you know, go to the gym, let's say 6 days a week, but you just can't sustain that long term with other commitments that are going in your life. So as well, one thing to take into consideration is that it's repetitive, it is the same old, but you fall in love with that repetitiveness. Like, I absolutely fucking love the off season because it's the same routine all day, every day, and that's what I enjoy. So make sure you enjoy it.
Right, so when equipment is being used or the cables aren't free, especially on these sort of movements, I just change it. So the cable lateral raise or cuff lateral raise, what I was meant to do next, I'm just going to do a standing single arm lateral raise. So yeah, one thing that I would just say to anyone who's programming, keep the intensity high what you are doing, rather than just, you know, sitting there waiting 15-20 minutes for an exercise and losing focus and just getting there and just think, fucking hell, I just want to go home. So I'd much rather you swap a like for like exercise. There's plenty of different variations to everything that we are doing in the gym. Keep the intensity nice and high.
One area in the off season I'm working on at the moment is just talking to myself nicely, because I get to points where I look at my physique and go, you look like a bag of shit, you look fucking shit. And when you start talking to yourself like that, you will convince yourself that you look like a bag of shit. So I'm really working upon, like, being confident in wearing a vest, actually telling myself I look good, you know, telling myself that the hard work is paying off in terms of what I'm doing, because sometimes, like, the most delusional people in the world are some of the most happiest people. Like, you know, those people that have, like, the weirdest, like, expectations on, like, doing something, and they're just, like, really happy in their own bubble. I want to be that person again, because that used to be me. So I'm really telling myself this off season, start loving yourself, George, and appreciate all the hard work and the efforts that you've put in, because you do deserve to love yourself. I know it sounds so hippie, but honestly, guys, just try. One thing you do after listening to this video is tell yourself something nice that you like about yourself. I dare you. Honestly, it'll make a huge difference.
It's loud as fucking here, but final exercise for the day is a EZ bar tricep overhead extension. If you want big arms, if you want that fucking tricep that's looking fucking hangy, do your overhead presses. Too many people do tricep press downs, which is great for the short head, but the 2/3 of your fucking tricep is the long head. So of course you want to work those overhead presses to fucking get big arms. It's simple as that. So this is my favorite one. Try it. You need a bench cable. You're good to go.
The only downside to this exercise is it's a bit of a pain in the ass to set up in terms of if your mobility is not great, trying to grab like the bar and get yourself into position is a bit of a nightmare. So if you've got a training partner, even better. If you're on your own, you're going to be a little bit fucked. But for me, this is a great exercise. Again, you don't need to do this with a bench. You can do this standing up, or if you're lucky and your gym may have an actual overhead extension machine, then it probably saves you from flapping about using this particular one. But a few cues here just to think about. By the way, if you look at, oh fucking hell, he's nearly stacking it. Don't worry, the stack is pretty light. Like to be honest with you, I'm not strong, but the stack's just quite light. So yeah, don't think that I'm fucking doing some crazy shit there. It's far from it. But elbows tucked in, just make sure that you've got your wrist, your elbow, your shoulders all aligned. See, so many people flare their elbows really wide on the tricep, and again, it's going to put a lot of discomfort through the joint, so just make sure you've got it all aligned. And then as you can see here, finished off with some abs. Again, I was going to do it in the beginning, but someone was using this particular machine, so I did it at the end. Again, make sure, guys, you train your abs during your bulk, because a lot of people will diet down and they'll be like, why can't I see my abs? What's going on here? Because you haven't got the muscular development there in the first place. Yes, you might be lean, but you need to have muscle there in the first place. And the way to build muscle is training them in the off season, not training them when you start dieting, because the likelihood of you building muscle whilst dieting is going to be very small. So always start off with your ab movements first rather than leaving them till last. I hope you enjoyed today's video and voiceover. Make sure you like and make sure you show some support to the channel. It's greatly appreciated.
What a session. Really good, actually. Really, really good. I felt full throughout. I felt very strong. And progress was made. You know, it was just beating reps and just feeling good, which is what the off season is meant to be about. So let's give you a little update of where we are. How many weeks am I now? Just over. This weekend will be 5 weeks on cycle, so I'm nearly halfway through my cycle, and I am about 10 kilos above stage rate now, which is pretty good going since I finished prep around late September time. So that must be 20 weeks or so. So 10 kilos up in 20 weeks isn't too bad for me. Since obviously being on assistance, I have gained a little bit. Now, I don't know whether that's just through obviously the PEDs entering my system or a little bit of water. Obviously my food's gone up, which you saw on the last YouTube video. So I am feeling a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit more watery maybe, but again, I don't know whether that's just from what's been going on. So yeah, enough waffling, George. Let me just give you a few shots. So we'll give you a front double bicep. And front lat spread. Side chest. Really trying to fill out this like top line here. Obviously I've got great delts. I've got good delts, I've got good arms, but what I'm really trying to fill out is this area here. So a lot of my work you'll see is targeting that sort of area. So I'm really trying to think about with this pose, pushing my arm into my bicep so it brings out the chest. And then I'm trying to scoop under the chest, keeping this bit nice and full, push the bicep against the chest all times, and try and get rid of any gaps here. So grab your hand with your wrist, and then we want to think about almost kind of letting out tire like that. Now the back is where I'm really trying to improve on. It's a big weakness in my physique, so hopefully we're making some improvements. And then most muscular. A great session in the books. Loved it. Missing Vicky though. Like sometimes we'd talk about how your session was. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. I think that's how we said it. It's a fucking meme, isn't it? Yeah, missing Vicky. That's the only real problem about today. It's just missing Vicky, but good session. Happy. Just keen to get home and see her, to be honest with you, so we can catch up and have a chat.
Hello, you. Hello. Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Hello, my big old boy. My big old boy. My big old boy. My big old boy, Denzel. Oh, you like that stride? Oh, that leg going, is it? Oh, that leg going, is it? Oh, yeah, that's the spot. That's the spot, isn't it?
Can't beat coming home and being greeted by the dogs. It's one of the best feelings in the world. It is a beautiful day. It's a really beautiful day. I had a haircut the other day, and I trimmed my beard down a little bit. It makes me actually look a little bit younger. When I shave my beard, it's kind of like I can't look at myself because I look completely different. I've even actually started to see, can you see my chin there? I've not been able to see my chin in God knows how long, but I'm quite liking the trimmed beard, if that makes sense. I really am looking. Right, Diesel's absolutely on it. What are you doing? What are you doing? He's absolutely on it today. Yeah, but I'm enjoying the trim beard anyway. Sun's out, it's Sunday morning, so last time I picked up the cameras a few days ago. One bit of advice, please. If you've got a dog or pets in general, please don't go to the gym and walk on a treadmill. Like, take your dog out, especially if the weather's like this. Please go and take your dog out because I feel so sorry for them. And I would adopt, or I would take your dog for a walk. I tell you what, when I'm older and I retire, one little thing that I'm going to start doing is like a dog walking business on the side. I've seen people charge like 15, 20 quid for taking a dog for a walk for an hour. I would love to do that. That's a good little side hustle as well. So yeah, if you don't walk your dogs in this sort of weather, please do. That's my bit of advice that I've got. So anyway, a little bit of an update. Yesterday, Saturday, we had our first client meetup that we've done. Both me and Vicky had our clients come up to EP Jungle in Stockport, Manchester, and it was a very successful day. It was something really out of my comfort zone because obviously I'm so used to like not socializing. Like I'm not a big social person. Like my battery when it comes to socializing is very small and it drains very quickly. So being out and speaking to a lot of people was very overwhelming, but it also was very good, and it made me realize that I can do more of that because I do hide away from socializing because I think sometimes I'm not a social person and I'm very just in my own little bubble sometimes, which you probably can tell just by following the channel. Like I don't really train with anyone. It's just me and Vicky and the dogs, which I absolutely love, but it also makes me realize that I can do other things and I can socialize. So it was a really good meetup. We trained, we posed, we had like little goodie bags from Supplement Needs and 1MR. It was really, really good. It's definitely something that we're going to be doing again. My back is feeling a lot better as well. So I had some treatment on Friday, and basically he basically works with like injuries and how your past injuries. So I've got basically a scar here, like how your scarring affects the way that your body moves. It's really weird. It's kind of like I don't want to believe it, but the reason why maybe my injuries on my left side, like my scapula, my lower back, is maybe down to the scar that I've got on the side. So it's kind of like reprogramming yourself to not, I don't even know, to be honest with you. It's very weird, but it was very very good. So that was great. And that's pretty much it for this week. I've edited the vlog and I'm almost kind of like thinking about whether it's good or not, but I'm just going to post it. It's always the case, I can't get my words out this morning, where I think something's shit, but it ends up being really good, and when I think something's really good, it ends up being really shit, but I'm not going to overcomplicate it. So I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have watched to this point, please comment down below. Comment down below, Mango, there she is. Comment down below Mango if you've watched the whole thing. Please like, please subscribe, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Peace.